there's usually one or two surprises. It might be a team-driven surprise or maybe the emergence of a player that was unexpected. But that is always what you love about this sport. Guys work hard to exceed expectations of them. Same thing can be said of the teams.
And as MP told us at the start of the season, he wants to be at the top of his rookie class. Seen by everyone as the clear-cut standout, how would you qualify his performance in that regard?
I have ambition. I think he might have bitten off a little more than he can chew. He just hasn't been able to outshine his fellow rookies on a consistent basis. That said, we have seen flashes of greatness. No denying that.
Now look at Memphis's starting group. We've got Edey. Jaren Jackson is out there with Wells. Then it's Morant, and it's Kennard in at the 2. Greg, no one questions the Grizzlies' talent. The challenge has always been availability.
Yeah, whether it's been injuries or suspensions, it's hard to get into a rhythm when you're missing key players. But when they're all on the floor, Kevin, they can beat anyone.
Here's Morant. It's hauled in by MP. Here in the first, a little over a minute played so far. Edwards finds MP. Before Gobert, he gets it there. Edey with the rebound. Pass to Wells. Jacks up a 3. Good, and the nice assist from Morant.
Terrific dime there. Morant realizing his responsibility to share the wealth with his teammate.
It's Edwards on the wing. Back to MP. Count it, good.
Just setting the tone with an aggressive move to the rack. And where's the help defensively?
To me, that's a complete lack of communication on that side of the ball. These guys need to be talking to one another.
And leave it up to Morant to put on a show.
They're bringing you up close and personal on the AT&T 5G Slam Cam. Knocked away. And so the ball out of bounds. Gobert touched it last. And we've watched a pretty interesting season unfolding in the Western Conference, guys. Let's check out the standings here. Taking a look at Minnesota, holding on to second spot in the conference. A great season for them so far. And, of course, there's the Grizzlies. They're at the 10th position.
And for the Grizzlies, they haven't had the great season that some were expecting, but it hasn't been a disaster. They just need a few things to go right for them down the stretch.
It's an amazing thing. If you can get a couple of wins, generate some momentum, you've got to believe they'll be just fine.
The shot's good from Kennard.
Well, this is how Luke Kennard made his way to the NBA. The knockdown 3. Good night.
Greg, with how explosive John Morant is, he has certainly taken his...
He's already had a number of injuries in his young career, but we all just want to see him at full health.
Getting the latest now from our sideline reporter, David Aldridge. David, it's all yours. Take it away.
Hey guys, MP in the last time out against the Magic delivered quite a performance. He scored 24 points and a couple of boards as well. Showed up once again. What's becoming the norm for him of late. We'll see what he has in store tonight. Kevin?
Thanks for the report, David. You have to love the energy he brought in that last game.
Yeah, he was the team's driving force, and tonight, maybe more of the same.
Well, I think what he has shown is when they send 2 in his direction, he is willing to make the pass and trust his teammates to make plays. So critical.
Looking at who's out there now for the Timberwolves. Martin comes in for Rudy Gobert, and Nickeil Alexander-Walker in for Edwards. And Memphis also making a switch. Pippen's checked in for Morant.
Hard to figure out how he doesn't knock that one down. No defender in sight.
That one goes in.
A power move by MP. Could have been an and one there.
Well, it was the Memphis Grizzlies in their last game, a loss to Houston.
Painful to watch, guys. You could see the frustrations mounting, unable to get into any kind of a rhythm whatsoever.
I thought they were outworked and outplayed in just about every phase of the game. Maybe that's one of those situations where you say, hey, let's move on.
Timberwolves trail by 3. Reed with a screen for MP. It's deflected. Now Wells. He had a 12-point outing in their last game against Houston. Left side Jackson. Here's Edey. And he battles for the ball and gets the second chance bucket.
This guy is just working his tail off on the boards. You love the effort, love the energy.
MP against Pippen. Here's MP. And the rebound by Jaren Jackson. And the Grizzlies leading by 5. Wells passes to Pippen. Outside for Jackson. This one for 3. Jackson can't get that one to fall.
It's almost as if there's a lid on the hoop for him right now. He still hasn't gotten one to fall in the court.
MP outside. And that concludes the first quarter of play. Grizzlies lead by 5. And the second quarter will get underway just after this short break. Minnesota making some changes. Daniels, he's checked in for Rudy Gobert. Martin comes in for Edwards. And MP subbed in for Dillingham. So Memphis going with almost an entire new group here. Edey's checked in for Clark. Jaren Jackson comes in for Gigi Jackson. Wells, he's checked in for John Morant. And it's Kennard in for Pippen. Jaden McDaniels is out there with Cody Martin. Then it's MP. Then it's Naz Reid. And it's Alexander Walker in at the 2 guard. So that's the lineup for Minnesota. Bulls from the top of the key. Oh, and that one had the right spin on it, and it is good. MP's got 7 points. And the Grizzlies leading by 4. Kennard, the pass to Wells. And again, Memphis no good.
Right now trying to get into a rhythm, but so far this quarter, boy, he is struggling to make anything go down.
Picked by Reed. Alexander Walker. Good on the three-point shot. And it's now only a 1-point Memphis lead.
Well, the versatility he possesses makes him a very tough cover, guys.
Count that one. Kennard's got 4 points this quarter.
How about that? Luke Kennard looking very comfortable on the interior. That's a tremendous finish.
MP, no good. Kennard against MP. Pass to Edey. Now Jackson. Shoots over McDaniel. What a play. Simply drains it in at the buzzer.
One eye on the rim, one eye on the clock. Nice job.
Well, finishing quarter strong. Every coach preaches it. Nice work.
And that's it for the first half of action in what's been a very close game here. Grizzlies out in front, leading by 5. And we'll get it going after this from the Target Center.
Welcome in for halftime. And what's on?
Without the points they've gotten off the bench, this game wouldn't be as close as it is. Can you count on that in the second half? It's debatable, man.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see who's in the game power rankings midway through this regular season.
Taking a look here at the Grizzlies, they're a middle of...
And that's all for us. Now it's time to send it back to Kevin.
And after a fairly even first couple of quarters, the second half could turn out to be a great one as both teams try to gain an edge. You know, Anthony Edwards has been exceptional here, guys.
No problems fighting his way to the rim in this one. A lot of points in close.
And part of that has to do with his mindset. He has been looking to push the action at every opportunity, and he has been in attack mode all night.
So on the floor for Memphis. Wells is out there with Jackson. Then there's Edey. Then it's Luke Kennard. And it's Morant in at the point guard. Greg, every year, injuries are a huge factor in shaping the title race. And I'm guessing that teams should probably put more of a premium on durability. What do you think?
Well, Kevin, I think all GMs take that into account. a team wants to be confident it'll have a stable roster over the course of a long season.
Hands it from downtown. Morant's got 10 points in the game.
Something that Morant continues to work on. When he's hitting from deep, he is basically unguardable.
Here's MP. Got a piece of it. Edwards against Morant. And misses it off the right side of the rim. Timberwolves trail by 8. McDaniels passes to MP. And MP throws it down.
Well, MP not going to waste a transition opportunity.
And so Morant will bring it up for the Memphis Grizzlies. They can look forward to the Rockets Arena after this matchup to take on Houston. That'll be game 2 of 4 straight on the road. Kennard, the pass to Morant. Well-timed pass, and he goes straight to the bucket for the layup. He's got 12.
Boy, that's 3 for 4 this half. You like that they're starting with a little bit of extra energy. Nice.
And we've got a timeout called from Chris Finch. He's ready to talk things through with the team. Clark, he's checked in for Naz Reid. For Minnesota, they've gone 2 of 3 from the field to start the second half. MP kicks to Edwards. MP up top. Guarded by Morant. MP, no good.
And he rushed that one, no doubt about it. The D out of position, you could see the frustration on his face.
Greg, this is some kind of note. Last year, Minnesota, for just the second time, had ever won a series in the postseason.
Yeah, they've been bounced in the first round. 10 of 12 appearances.
Jackson dishes to Pippen. Pass to Aldama. Now here's Williams. Jackson kicks to Pippen. Takes a 3. It's good. The assist this time from Jackson. Jackson's got 5 assists tonight.
And they have been relentless from deep. And you see the defense trying to react, but to no avail.
Well, that's the whole point, isn't it? If you space the floor well enough, it's almost impossible for the defense to account for everyone.
Ja Morant has been leading the charge, guys, for the Grizzlies. He totaled 14 points in the quarter. He's given them all the offense they need right now. And we'll be right back after this. And let's take now this moment to bring up our State Farm assist of the game.
And definitely deserving of the prize tonight. How about the read he made here? Looking like a point guard with the pass right on the money.
He's got the size to survey over the top of the defense and find the open man. That was beautiful.
And 1 quarter to go in a game that to this point has not been an evenly fought contest. They've got MP. Reed is out there with Cody Martin. Then it's Nickeil Alexander-Walker. And it's Micic in at the 2-guard spot. So that's the lineup for Minnesota. Reed with a screen on Jackson. 4 on the shot clock. The shot's good from Alexander-Walker.
You can't just stop when there's a big setup. Gotta fight over it as a defender.
You know exactly what that takes. It takes energy, it takes activity, it takes intensity.
Timberwolves trail by 18. Martin with a screen on Jackson. Pass to MP. From down in the low post. It goes. And it's 13 points for MP.
Despite his youth, MP showing grown man strength.
Morant outside. Here's Aldama. Outside for Pippen. Back to Aldama. Puts up a 3. Reed with the rebound. Reed's got 4 rebounds now tonight. MP looking around. Pass to Alexander-Walker. Shoots it. It's Clark with the rebound.
Normally he'll drill that shot, and I'm sure they'll look to find him in that spot again.
No doubt. Very good play call, good execution. Sometimes it just doesn't fall.
The three, Pippen. And there's the rebound by Micic.
I'll tell you, he's trying to help them extend this lead, but it's been a tough night for him individually.
Here's Martin. And the shot goes down.
And there's a pattern starting to take shape here. They're working it inside and getting good shots from close range.
The Grizzlies call timeout. Some changes for Minnesota. Rudy Gobert, he's checked in for Cody Martin. McDaniels comes in for Alexander Walker. And it's Edwards in for Micic. So Memphis going with almost an entire new group here. Edey's checked in for Brandon Clark. Jaren Jackson comes in for Santi Aldama. Wells, he's checked in for Jackson. And it's Luke Kennard in for Pippen. Right now, let's send it over to the sidelines and get a report from David Aldridge.
Hi, guys. Well, during the break, I was able to catch what the Grizzlies coach was talking about with his team. He told them, don't look at the scoreboard. We have to play like we're tied. They want their team to sustain that level of effort. We'll see how it works out. Kevin?
Thanks so much, David. Here's Morant. And he could not get that one to go. Out of contact, and he'll go to the line for two.
Already an MVP caliber talent, Morant is all about continuing to get better, as well as competing for titles.
And a closer look here at the hustle stats for the Grizzlies.
They made a point to protect the rim, challenging shots all game long, and the block total is off the charts.
The other thing that jumps out about their performance tonight, the amount of steals really pressuring those ball handlers.
MP kicks to Edwards. Back to MP. Inside, MP gets it.
What an incredible game so far for MP. He's showing no signs of slowing down.
They can take their time on this possession.
It wouldn't be a bad idea just giving themselves a little bit of a break. Unwilling to let up even for a moment. That's his killer instinct, just fanning the flame.
One thing I enjoy is watching players who don't pay attention to the score. You lock in on the moment and play the right way.
Here's MP. Right through contact, MP.
And looking a lot better now, but still a long way to go to get back into this run.
Yeah, but this run started with tighter execution at both ends, and that'll need to be maintained for them to have a chance to take the lead.
And the Grizzlies leading by 13. Morant looking around. Well, defensively, Doris, these Minnesota Timberwolves are really a cut above the rest.
They led the league in defensive rating in 2024. They have so many ways to shut down what you're trying to do offensively. Length, athleticism, rim protection, commitment, and great scheme. They are a nightmare.
And there's no doubt Morant near the top of the list of elite scorers in this league.
Another miss by MP. And the foul called on MP. That's his third foul so far. Bonus situation in effect, so we'll head to the free throw line for two. The NBA has always been a star-driven league, Greg, and that's reflected in team strategies now more than ever before.
It is. All over the league, teams now building their systems around their stars, surrounding them with complementary players and running the offense through them as much as possible.
Here's MP. Back to Edwards. Nice shot from 10 feet out. 19 points for Anthony Edwards.
And obviously his momentum from the last game has carried over here tonight.
No, I think that's the one thing every player is searching for. Consistency. They're giving this guy a chance to carry the offense once again.
Pass to Edey. Now here's Kennard. Shot clock at 5 from the arc. Rudy Gobert with the rebound. Fouled in the act of shooting. Gets the bucket anyway, so a three-point play chance for him.
What heart by MP, going through contact there and converting.
So Memphis ends up going with the new group. 41 seconds left here in the fourth quarter. And here's Pippen. Clark sets a screen for Pippen. Over Dillingham. And the shot is good, dropping in off the front of the rim. And the Grizzlies lead by 12. MP outside. Fires for three. No good that time. So no problem for Memphis as they get the win. This was a very strong showing for him, Greg. Not necessarily a runaway win, but one they'll feel very good about.
And let's face it, anytime you can go on the road and win in the fashion they did,
Sorry, man. Tough game tonight. Hey, they're professionals too. They call this place the phone booth. So dial up a double. What's up, MP? MP, over here, over here.
Don't tell me y'all having a party without me.
MP.
What's going on?
Thank you both. We'll talk soon. Second half of the season's coming up. We want to finish strong.
Right? Every moment matters. We need to be laser focused on our goals 24/7.
I'm right there with you, Coach.
Yeah, well, we all know what we're striving for as a team at this point, but we want to continue pushing you to develop your game as an individual.
Exactly. No matter how good you are, you can always be better.
I'm with it. So what are we going to do? We're going to choose another personal goal like we did first half?
That's right. Why don't you show them the list, Coach?
Pick a goal and we'll get to work.
I want to be Rookie of the Year.
Is that right?
All right, don't get me wrong. The most important thing to me in this world is winning, but I'm also a competitor. And so I want to prove that I'm the best in my class, and if I do that, it'll put us in great shape when it comes time for the playoffs.
The team comes first, always.
But it's only natural to want a little recognition, and we know how to help make that happen.
Right.
You show out against top rookies,
Yeah.
and you'll have the media eating out of your hand when come voting time.
Just make sure you don't lose sight of the bigger picture. Everything you do to help the team win.
Team comes first, always. I just want my cake and eat it too.
Fantastic. Sounds like we're in total alignment.
Just remember, every moment matters. Give everything you've got to this and you'll be rewarded.
Let's get after it, MP. Everything good, MP? There he goes.
Good luck out there, MP.
Get ready to light it up tonight.
The National Basketball Association and your Washington Wizards are committed to a safe and enjoyable sports experience. We therefore ask you to refrain from any disruptive behavior, such as fighting, throwing objects, attempting to enter the court or interrupt play, or using improper language or gestures. Spectators engaging in such behavior are subject to ejection and possible arrest.
Welcome to 2K Sports, everyone. We have some exciting NBA action coming up. We'll watch the Washington Wizards as they go up against the Minnesota Timberwolves. Brian Anderson here, joined by the Hall of Famer Grant Hill and Coach Stan Van Gundy. We'll hear from Allie LaForce as well. And the upcoming schedule for the Minnesota Timberwolves. On Wednesday, they'll go up against Stephen Curry and the Golden State Warriors. And then Friday, they'll be matching up against Karl Anthony Towns and the New York Knicks.
And you know, for that matchup with the Grizzlies, that's a game where you'd be surprised to see them lose. They'd have to have a really off night for them to get upset there.
And a look at Minnesota's opening lineup. Ant is at the 2 with McDaniels playing the 3. Julius Randle out there with Rudy Gobert. And it's MP in at the point. And for the Wizards, we've got Sarr, Bilal Coulibaly out there with Jordan Poole. Then it's Chris Middleton, and it's Champagnie at power forward. You know, on paper, this looks like a lopsided matchup, but anything can happen in the NBA, Grant.
That is the truth. I mean, that's why they play the games. One guy gets hot, a team gets cold. That's all it takes to swing the entire outcome of a game.
I'm sure you've heard this from MP by now, but he's got his eyes set on running away with Rookie of the Year.
And you have to admire the confidence that MP has. He believes he can be the Rookie of the Year, but he also understands that he can't do it by just putting up individual numbers. Team success is an important part of the equation.
And let's check in with Allie. She's got the latest on MP.
Hey there, guys. Well, there's a lot of excitement coming into this game with a couple of Rookie of the Year candidates on the roster. When I asked MP about it, he said, I've had this game circled on my calendar for a while now. I'm ready to show I'm at the top of this class. Guys, I like his confidence.
Yeah, that's a big part of it. Thanks, Allie. Should be a great battle to watch. Now here's Poole. An effective score for them, scoring around 21.5 points a game.
Yeah, nice ball movement from Poole. Just setting up someone else out there.
Poole against MP. Off target from the baseline. For Washington, they've gone 2 of 3 from the floor. And Stan, after they traded for Rudy Gobert, it took some time for the Wolves to gel.
It did, Brian. He's a unique player, and it's a process. But obviously a 14-win improvement last season. They have found their identity as a defensive juggernaut.
MP. That's good. His first made shot in 3 attempts.
What touch on the teardrop. And Pete just letting it glide off his fingertips.
Pass to Sarr. And he was fouled while in the act of shooting, so he'll take 2 free throws. Well, we have a chance to hear from Shams Charania. He's calling in right now. Shams, great to have you on, bud.
Hey, guys. The Wizards' number 2 overall pick, Alex Sarr, wanted to be in Washington, D.C., and his defense gets him on the court right away. Not to mention, the Wizards are in a rebuild, and if his offense comes along, he could be a foundational piece for this franchise. Everyone's excited to see the development of Alex Sarr.
A big piece. Okay, Shams, thank you.
Justin Champagnie. First personal foul. First team foul.
Now here's MP. The D's right on him. Pass to McDaniels. Down low. Here's MP. Buries it. He's 2 for 4 in this game.
Strong work down low from MP. He doesn't let aggressive defense throw him off his game.
Poole, the pass to Champagnie. And Jaden McDaniels picks up the foul. That's his first foul of the game. Kispert's checked in for Champagnie.
Second team foul. Coming onto the floor for your Wizards.
Poole outside. Pass to Middleton. The kick out to Poole. And that comes off the assist by Middleton. Poole's got 5.
And the coaching staff has to be happy with how they've shot the ball here early on.
MP drives in. No good that time. Oh, some solid defense from Poole. The 3-ball. And it's MP with a rebound. And so MP will bring it up for the T-Wolves. 4-point game. Last game matched up with the Grizzlies. A tough loss there.
That's a game they'd like to put in the rearview mirror. They know they treated it a little too lightly.
Yeah, but what matters now is how the team responds to a loss like that. That's what makes this a big game for them.
Washington calls timeout. Changes here for the Timberwolves. Reed's checked it. The Timberwolves trail. We've got Corey Kispert, George out there with Malcolm Brogdon. And it's Carrington in at the 2. That's the 5 on the floor for the Wizards. Now here's Edwards. We saw him with 19 his last time out. Fade away. No good off the back of the rim. Washington has gone 4 of 9 so far from the perimeter. Brogdon with the ball. Now guarded by MP. Brogdon, the pass to George. It's rebounded by Minnesota. Their first look at this year's Washington squad.
They dropped both games against this team last season. Just a shellacking they don't want to repeat.
Now here's MP. Can't hit the turnaround jumper.
Well, when they're playing off you, you have to make them pay. And he could.
And now the T-Wolves on the break. All right, a look at how the points have been generated so far. A scoring breakdown for Washington.
Well, the coaching staff's game plan is very clear. Move the ball on the perimeter and shoot the shots with no hesitation.
You have to like the fact that they're not settling at all. I mean, they've really made a point to get the ball down inside and challenge that interior defense.
And Grant, when you play the Wizards, you better be ready to run.
BA, they like to speed you up. They force you to play at their pace. And on the flip side, that gives you open floor opportunities as well. There you go, MP. Hammer it home, young fella.
Wizards trail by 3. Brogdon feeling it out a bit. There's a screen. Brogdon with a nice finish down low.
When they get their opportunity to punch it inside, they don't hesitate.
Pass to MP. And the shot counts. He's fouled, and it's a chance for a 3-point play. Coach, when you look at the best defensive teams, what's the balance between IQ, smarts for the game, versus effort?
Well, Brian, it's both. You know, I mean, the effort is a given. You're not going to get anything done in the game without effort. But to be a good defensive team, you have to be smart. You have to understand your opponents, their tendencies both as a team and as individuals. And if you do that, you can cover up for a lot in terms of just raw athleticism.
Gives us a chance to catch up with Allie LaForce.
Well, the Wizards last season for the first time in a long time hitting the reset button. A losing record, no surprise, but they're trying to build something from the ground up. Enough of treading water in the middle, Brian. They're 45 straight seasons without hitting 50 wins, the longest such streak in NBA history.
Ooh, not good there, Allie. Thank you.
A legitimate threat beyond the arc. Brogdon's sense for when to shoot from there is outstanding.
Outside Reed. Launches it. Gets the 3 to fall. Reed's got his second bucket on the night.
Exchanging buckets from downtown. That's been a staple of tonight's game.
Yeah, sometimes you get in a shootout like this, but you just hope that you can get a stop first.
Grant, when it comes to Anthony Edwards, fair to say he's meeting expectations so far.
Oh, no question, B.A. The first overall pick in the 2020 draft, Edwards has been anything but a bust. Now we are seeing him trying to compete for titles.
Now here's Kispert. Making a mark on the offensive end, scoring around 13 a game. Pure from three-point range.
And after not making any threes in the first half, he now has 2 here in the second half. Let's see if he continue to add to that.
Here's Edwards, an aggressive player on offense, scoring around 16 a game. MP no good.
Not really what we expected. You know he wants that one back.
Inside. Holmes, no good. The Timberwolves lead by 3.
He's been very efficient in this quarter. Keep getting him the ball.
And Chris Finch calls timeout here. He'll take the opportunity. Game as we wrap up the first half of play. It's Minnesota leading by just 2. And time now for the halftime break with the third quarter soon to follow on 2K Sports.
And now, please direct your attention to center court. And get ready for the fan half-court shot.
Thanks for tuning in. The story tonight with the...
Love that they're taking high percentage shots, and it hasn't been easy for them. It's hard to score inside when the defense is collapsing.
And let's move on and see the top vote getters in this. Thanks for tuning in. Now it's time to head back over to Brian Anderson for the start of the third quarter.
And after a fairly even first couple of quarters, this second half could turn out to be a great one as both teams trying to gain an edge. MP really making a difference here.
He's been excellent at cutting through the defense and giving them fits around the basket.
Well, I just love his fearlessness so far. He's charging inside like no one can stop him.
On the court for the Timberwolves. And is at the 2 with McDaniels playing the 3. Rudy Gobert is out there with Julius Randle. And it's MP in at point guard. Muscling it home, MP.
Yeah, this defense looks absolutely helpless trying to stop MP right now. He's having his way out there.
And it falls all over the rim and in. Poole's got 12 points in the game. And here's MP. He'll bring it up for the Minnesota Timberwolves. They lead by 4. Looking ahead, they've got the Warriors coming to town for their next game. It'll be a quick stopover at home before they have to get back out on the road. Poole against McDaniels. Three-pointer is up. Middleton. Rebounded by the Timberwolves. Gobert's got his 4th rebound in this one. Randle, the pass to Gobert. Here's MP, guarded by Poole. MP beats the contact.
And their offensive game plan is clear. Get it inside and go to work.
Outside Coulibaly. And we're just about a minute and a half into the third quarter of basketball. 6 on the shot clock to the middle. Sarr. And he jams it home with authority.
Well, you have to track Sarr in that action. He's so fluid for his size and does a great job coming off the pick.
Gobert passes to Edwards. Inside. MP no good. The Wizards trail by 4. Into the third. 2 minutes in now. Back to Middleton. And they double up Middleton. Poole, the pass to Sarr. Here's Coulibaly. Off target with the 3. Minnesota leading by 4. MP outside. MP getting it done inside.
Well, that's on the defense. How did they let MP get deep positioning like that?
Now a timeout called by Washington. And now that they have some time to get a little bit of rest, it's time for these players to regroup while hydrating themselves with some Gatorade, looking to gain a boost of energy as they continue to play in this game.
And staying hydrated is the only surefire way to do it. An athlete's body doesn't have the same power and stamina without proper hydration. These guys will be sure to use this timeout wisely.
The Timberwolves making a switch here. Clark's checked in. And while we have a second, let's take a look at the top scoring rookies in the NBA right now. MP, number 1.
Every year we see people enter the league and put up points, but he's been in a league of his own.
The Wizards trail by 6. Outside Koulibaly. Poole outside. Middleton from the outside. Edwards pulls it in.
Their strong work ethic has been evident on the glass, really getting after it and being physical.
And Stan, while Edwards has pushed back, it hasn't stopped others from comparing him to his airness, Michael Jordan.
And that talk is more about how his game reminds one of MJ and less about greatness. Edwards' career is just getting started.
And what a slash by Poole, just knifing inside with ease.
Washington has got nothing to fall from outside in this third quarter. Pass to Koulibaly. Middleton against Edwards with the fadeaway. No good, off the front rim. Minnesota leading by 6. MP, the pass to McDaniels. Back to MP. 11 feet out and he hits it. MP's got 12 points in just the second half.
Getting it done from the in-between area. MP just taking what the defense gives him.
Well, he hit a couple of threes in the first half, but none since then.
Outside Edwards. To the paint. Here's MP. And he banks in the layup. And it's a 10-point Timberwolves lead.
Well, all of us coaches, we love when you can create looks in close.
Pass to Middleton. Back to Koulibaly. Middleton with a screen on Edwards. Here's Koulibaly. Minnesota with a rebound. MP's got a rebound number 5 here tonight. Outside McDaniels. Back to MP. It's rebounded by Washington. 30 seconds left in the third quarter. Pass to Koulibaly. Randall pulls down the board.
And they're up considerably because of their efforts on the glass.
Count it. Poole's got 6 here in the quarter.
And this is Poole at his very best, scoring at an unrelenting pace.
Now here's Randall. Beyond the arc. Knocks down the triple.
And this is what you want to do when you've got a big lead. You must stay aggressive.
Yeah, they're being absolutely relentless. Building this lead in every way possible.
Exchanging buckets from downtown. That's been a staple of tonight's game.
Yeah, sometimes you get in a shootout like this, but you just hope that you can get a stop first.
MP getting it done for the Timberwolves. Absolutely carrying the offense. He ends the quarter with 14. We'll be right back after this word. And while we have a chance, let's go to our State Farm assist of the game.
And I'll tell you what, this was a no-brainer tonight. Take a look at the precision on this feed. Couldn't place it any better.
Yeah, that's high level.
He's checked in for the Timberwolves. Minnesota's gone 0 for 2 from outside here in the fourth quarter. Bilal Koulibaly out there with Jordan Poole. Then it's Chris Middleton, then there's Sarr, and it's Champagnie at the 4 spot. That's the group for Washington right now. Washington trailing. Poole from long range. Look at Poole showing the range.
You need a bucket? Poole can get it for you.
Alexander Walker, the pass to Reed. And here's MP. Back to Reed. Down low. Here's MP. And it's Poole with a rebound. Poole's got 4 rebounds in the game. Rebounded by the Timberwolves. MP's got 6 rebounds in the game. Pass to Shannon. To the inside. MP. Count it. MP's gotten 4 this quarter.
What a bucket for MP. He's so hungry to own these big moments.
Poole outside. Takes a 3. Again, the miss by Poole. And for the Timberwolves, they're shooting 33%. This hasn't been their quarter. Here's MP. Basket counts. Now it's a 3-point Timberwolves lead. Over 3.5 minutes through the final quarter now. Here's Poole. Let's go with a 3. Sends it home from 3-point land. Poole's got 18 points now here in the second half.
Here in the second half, they're really focused on stretching the floor.
Yeah, and where has the defense been? They've been content to let them fire away. They've got to close out to the arc.
And Chris Finch calls timeout here. The pressure is on, and he's got a plan to share with his guys. And Minnesota making a change here. Fourth quarter of play, and over 3.5 minutes have gone by now.
MP, pressure moment.
Good on the first, and that gives him a lead. And so both free throws good, and it's a 2-point ball game.
Look, every trip to the line counts, but getting all of these was extra important.
Outside Coulibaly. 1:06 left in the game. Poole outside from deep. Rebound Minnesota. They've led by as many as 11. Here's Edwards. Oh, he nails it!
There is absolutely no fear in his eyes. He loves the moment.
Yeah, and I can say from experience, his coach just breathed a huge sigh of relief.
And the Wizards call timeout. Let's check in with our reporter, Allie LaForce.
Over the break, I listened in on what the head coach for the Wizards was getting across in the huddle. He thinks they're still very much in this game, saying it's right there, but it's on us to take care of it. We have to make it happen, hoping to inspire his team here.
Okay, thank you, Allie. Middleton from the outside. Randall pulls down the board.
They need buckets to stay in this game. That's not the shot they're looking for.
MP is doubled. And a bit of a battle for the ball. And the officials signal a jump ball here. Eight-second difference between the shot clock and game clock. Middleton from the outside. Yes! And that one brings them within 1.
I mean, we have seen Middleton do this before. A clutch performer who's unafraid of the spotlight.
Second team foul. Shooting for Minnesota, Anthony Edwards. At the line for 2.
He drops the first one, and that'll put him up 2. He can't sink it, and that was an important free throw.
And this is so critical. They now have to score every trip up the floor.
Yeah, they need everything to break their way at this point if they're going to rally back.
And they foul intentionally. That's what they have to do at this point.
And a smart choice right there. I mean, you can't allow them to just drain the clock.
Shooting for Minnesota, MP, 2 shots.
He gets the first, and that makes it a 3-point lead.
You know, it's no secret that MP is a confident guy. But what I really like is that most of the time he lets his play do the talking for him.
And a tough break as his second attempt is no good at the line. And the Wizards call timeout. Turning here to our analyst. What elements become the primary keys at this point?
Tricky situation here. They need some kind of bucket to stay alive.
Yeah, the clock is their enemy and they know it. We'll see if they go for the tie or try and get a quick one.
And it's Washington with the ball. They trail by 3. And now an intentional foul. They need the ball back as soon as possible.
Second foot. 14 foul. At the line for the Timberwolves, Rudy Gobert. 2 shots.
First free throw is good. And that gives him a 4-point cushion. And so he drops them both. And it's a 5-point game.
Great composure there. Calmly knocks them down to put this game out of reach.
From deep three-point land. Champagne's shot is off. And so they choose to intentionally foul.
Champagne. Second personal foul. 15 foul. Shooting for Minnesota. MP. Taking 2 shots.
He hits the first one, and that increases the lead to 6. And the second free throw, no good. Tough break there. So it's Minnesota picking up the win. Just a gutsy performance on the road.
It really was. When this one was up in the air late, they showed how tough-minded they are as a team.
And that's going to do it tonight, folks, for our broadcast. For Grant Hill, Allie LaForce, and Coach Stan Van Gundy, this is Brian Anderson. Thank you for watching the NBA on 2K Sports. So long, everybody.
Great win tonight,